1. Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Gamer Social Club podcast, where we're just here chilling, hanging out. We just finished recording our weekly show, and it's been a long 2024, and we're happy to be into 2025. We got lots of fun things planned. I'm really excited to see where Gamer Social Club goes within the next year, especially after how far we've come from just March. We are only about a month-ish away, a little over a month away from our 1-year anniversary as a website. And then soon after that, it will be 1-year anniversary of this podcast and the YouTube page. So for now, everybody who's stuck around up till now, thank you so much for watching and supporting us. Y'all gave us 5 stars all around on Spotify, and I've been meaning, I saved it onto my phone, but I gotta share it onto the socials to thank you all. But today I am joined by I'm gonna have to come up with a new intro for you, Husky, because I blew out my mic during when I did it. but I am joined by the Husky Hokage, aka Marcus, and I am joined by F-Bomb Frazier, aka the #1 Space Marine 2 fan, aka Frazier. And I am also...
Did that one slide in there?
I did. I was like, how many do I have for you? I am also joined by the Elden Lord Godfrey, a.k.a. Jeff from the Disposables podcast.
Nailed it.
Got it. Nailed it. The Interactive Distractions podcast. So... I want to hear all about your guys' Christmas, your New Year's. What have you been playing since I last talked to you? Because the last time I talked to all of you guys was from the Game of the Year award show, which took place a week leading into Christmas. So probably like the 20th, somewhere around there is when we were doing all that recording. So let's start with you, Marcus. How have you been doing? What have you been up to? How was your holidays?
Holidays were good, man. I can't complain. Like I said, my kids had a good time. That's really kind of at this age. That's all that really matters, as long as they had a good time. But I got some games. I finished some games at the end of the year I was really happy about. I set a goal every year of how many games I want to try to beat. And my life is hectic outside of gaming. Just from kids to job to being a husband to I coach different sports with my kids or whatever. So I spent a lot of time doing that. So this year I was...
You're like an adult and stuff.
Yeah.
Listen. Wow. Guys adulting over here.
Not me. It's my games.
But I wish. I was aiming for 15. I made it to 13, surprisingly. I was happy about that. I 10 last year, so I rolled credit on 13 this year. And I finished up, and Nathan just mentioned he was playing one of his favorite games of all time was T-Lu 2, The Last of Us Part 2.
Mm-hmm.
They put the Last of Us Part 1 on PlayStation Plus, and it was on my portal. I was playing on my portal. I ended up starting playing T-Lu 1, went through the story and everything. Beat T-Lu 1 like right before Christmas. Finished Sifu, and I finished Wolfenstein.
Oh,
yeah,
wow.
Sifu was amazing.
Wow,
I want to do
so
another
you had a
playthrough of
good
Sifu.
break.
How hard was that? I'm scared to get it to start it.
Oh, listen. It wasn't it's fun. It's just trying to get those, like, some of the timing down, some of them when you're fighting, especially the bosses. The boss, I think that really it's like the boss right before the final boss. She was a real task for me because, like, some of the other bosses you can kind of move out the way and get further back from them, and their reach is not as long. But she has only one arm, but her other arm is like this,
like gummy ass shit, or like is it like
it's a weapon. It's a weapon that she uses, and it has a reach on. It has a long reach. So that was messing me up. So, but when I tell you it's such a good game, I really want to do another playthrough. of that. And then, like I said, I finished Wolfenstein the first Wolfenstein New Colossus.
Mhm.
I really enjoyed that. But I was able to knock those 3 out at the end of the year, man. And I was once again, and also Dave the Diver. I finally finished roll the credits on Dave the Diver. Such a fun indie game, man. Dave the Diver is so much fun. You know, you have the main mission. What took me so long is because I got caught up in having my own sushi shop. You know, you go hunt for the fish,
yeah.
and then you end up having to do the sushi. Like that part was so much fun, man. It was like a little cozy, just repetitious. Getting there, let me go find a different fish, fixing sushi. You know, doing all that. That made it so much fun. But like, I was able to finish out some games, and it was a really good year. Really good year for games. Looking forward to this year. Excited for everything that Gamer Social Club has. It's going to be coming down on pipeline. But yeah, last year was amazing.
That's awesome to hear, dude. I'm very jealous that you got to experience. You said that was your first time with Last of Us Part 2, right? Yeah,
It was the first one. It was Tilo 1, but yeah, first one. My first time. Yeah. I haven't did 2 yet. I haven't. My cousin's like, man, you got to play 2 now. You got to play. I was like,
no,
I'll
have
get
you had
to it.
2 spoiled for you, or have you kept away from them for the most part?
I know what's gonna happen. I know
Okay.
I know the story. I knew the story of 1, and I was like,
Yeah.
I still want to experience it for myself.
Definitely experience it for sure.
Oh,
Yeah. I was just wondering if like
Brutal.
if I say anything by accident or something, because it's
Nah,
I did that by accident with our host a couple weeks ago. I did it off the air though, but it was fucking his fault. Okay, I don't know if you guys listen, but I said like 3 different times, like, are you sure it's the part that I'm thinking of? And 3 different times Chris confirmed, yeah, it has to be the part. I'm so pissed off. And then I was like, okay, it has to be. And then after we were done, I was like, oh, so blah, blah, blah. And he's like, what? And I was like, motherfucker.
You just told me.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, that's so good.
Do you think he's
anyway,
actually going to get through his playthrough? Because I know
Chris? No.
Yeah, he's not going to finish it.
Well, not anytime soon. I don't think it's a game he's going to binge for sure.
Okay.
I think it's hard to binge, man. That game is fucking bleak.
It is.
And like
What game are
the
we
first
talking
one's
about?
pretty dark too.
Last of Us
2.
Oh, we're still talking about that.
Yeah,
Yeah. I found the second one to be like weirdly long. Like
It was very long.
Yeah.
I
It
really
longer.
enjoyed it, but there were
Yeah.
several times where I'm like, "Fuck, is there more?"
The first one's way shorter. Like the first one's like
Yeah,
12 or 13 hours or something, isn't it?
The first
yeah,
one,
it's not long at all.
yeah.
But the
first one
second one,
gives
I've
you
heard-
fuck all achievements as well, which is stupid. I played through it and I looked at the thing. I was like, I think I had like 3 or 4 unlocked. I was like, what the fuck is this?
Yep. Oh, so Jeff, what have you been up to? I already know if you listen to the Disposables podcast, you already know what he's been up to. But I want to hear from your mouth myself, straight into my
I
ear
honestly
hole.
don't even remember what I said then, and I don't. It's been too long since. I mean, the holidays were fine. Spent it with 3 different sections of the family, so there's a lot of like traveling around and driving and meeting up with people, which was fun. New Year's was very low key. I think I was in bed by like 10:30. I'm old. I can't stay up till midnight anymore, guys. It's not a thing.
It's
I was gonna
already
ask
9?
Marcus of his kids. Oh my god, like because we went to the in-laws again, and the niece and nephew were there, and I was like, oh god, please hope that they're not wanting to stay up till midnight because I can't do this. And luckily, no, they were tired by like 8. But we played that Among Us game,
Yeah,
which I don't know if I
that
want to
sounded
go
like
into.
a lot of fun.
That was
Yeah,
a lot
it
of fun. People should do that. We basically played real life Among Us at my in-laws at Tanya's families, and I thought it was going to be pretty lame and very cheesy. The niece and nephew are like obsessed with Among Us, and she found this thing online where she printed off a bunch of these cards and everything, and we randomly drew the cards, and one person was the I always say traitor. It's not traitor. What's it called in Among Us again?
Imposter?
I don't know. Yes, thank you. Yes, that's right. Thank you, guys. And the rest we had to go complete these tasks in the one level of the house, and people would have to, like, if you got poked, you were dead, and then it was pretty cool. Played out in a really fun and competitive way. me and the mother-in-law definitely got really competitive with it. So
Yeah, I loved hearing about you. Wasn't it your mother-in-law took down your like sister-in-law or something? She
our
tripped her and
niece,
they killed her.
yeah, she was trying to get by her and she tripped. Then as she was tripping and falling, she did the poke to kill our niece. And of course, when niece falls over, she's crying. And then I used that as part of my defense where, because she tried to call a meeting to say that I was, oh no, this is a game after. So I'm getting ahead. I can't tell the whole story, but there was a game where I was the imposter, and she saw me murder my brother-in-law in like broad daylight. Like she saw me do it, and then I somehow convinced myself. Oh my god, I'm screwing this up again. Wrong order of events. She was the imposter. She murdered my brother-in-law, but then as our niece was running to hit the button to call the meeting because she thinks she saw her do it. She tripped over my mother-in-law's foot, and then my mother-in-law killed her on her way as she was falling. And then my niece was all crying and everything. So then we pulled the meeting or whatever, and then I was like, we all voted my mother-in-law out because it was very obvious. And then later when I was the imposter and she tried to kick me out, I used you just pushed our niece down, your granddaughter, and you're gonna believe someone who would do this to win a game, and it saved me from being voted out when she clearly saw me murder my brother-in-law. Oh, it was great.
Oh, that's so good.
That's one of those
love
moments you hit like Xbox record or something when that happens. I was like, oh yeah, she was so pissed. I'm like, oh yeah, you saw me.
Dude,
But it was fun.
yeah. It's crazy. Did you guys ever play it's basically the exact same thing, but growing up, did you ever play Killer? Just where you turn out the lights and people gotta like, there's one or two killers and they gotta like go around and they gotta like slit your throat.
Yeah.
Yeah, did you guys ever play that?
Not exactly that, but yeah, similar to that. Yeah.
See, I played it all the time growing up, and it was just always a fun game. I mean, it is just imposters, but it's exactly what you just described, except you do it in the dark. I don't know how many. I haven't really talked about it too much, but I was a youth pastor for like 5 years. And 1 year, they were like, we did like a retreat. Well, we did like 2 retreats every year, and the guy left me in charge of games, and I was like, okay. So he's
then
like,
you played
hey,
Killer?
Yep. And I played Killer. I'm like, I don't see the problem here. And like all the other leaders
this
had
pastor, someone who would probably buy that Doom game from April.
and like all the leaders, like they went to like go prepare for the service or whatever. There in a couple hours, they're like, all right, Nathan, you just watch these 70 kids, and you do games. I'm like, okay, everybody, we're gonna play Killer. And one of the parents there like came up to me afterwards. She was livid. She's like, "What's wrong with you?" And I was like, I'm sorry. I didn't think this through very well, did I?" And she's like, "No, you didn't." I was like, "My bad." But anyways, yeah, you were telling me that story. It reminded me of that. But man, that game's so much fun though. But what have you been playing through all this break
finished,
time?
A small indie game that no one's ever told me to play before, and not a lot of people like it, but it's this game called Death Stranding.
Yeah, I've heard of it.
I finally gave it the good college try. Like I tried playing it like 3 different times before this, and it just every time I was like, nope, not for me. And then finally it came out for Xbox, and I was like, oh, that's cool. I got people talking about it again. So like Fraser's a big fan. I'm not sure if you guys have played it or if you've beaten it or whatnot, but other people were talking about it like just in the realm of like social media. So it kind of got me into like, oh, maybe I should give it another try. And then I went to my PS5 and realized I didn't have the director's cut. It was just the base version. I guess I got it for PS Plus or something. So I was like, oh, I'm just gonna buy it on Xbox. And then I played it, and I was like, I'm just gonna go. There's not much I'm playing right now. Let's just do it. And then it took a while. It was a good, I want to say 16 hours or so, when it just then something clicked where I was like, I get it. I get the loop. I get what this game wants me to do. I get the satisfaction of like helping build shit for other people to make it easier for them, to make it easier for me, what certain things mean. And then I just kept playing and just kept getting better and better and better. And my God, the end of that game, like by the end, I think it's one of Kojima's best games. Like I really, really, really enjoyed it overall. And it hits hard towards the end. The second half of that game, man, is so good. It's not the UPS sim that people say it is. It is, but it isn't. You're doing a lot of trekking back and forth. You're carrying parcels, but there's also shooting in it. There's a lot of other gameplay mechanics that they don't show in any of the trailers. And surprisingly, at least I haven't seen a lot of people talk about. So a lot of stuff wasn't spoiled for me somehow. And that story, man, it goes places. Yeah.
About bringing people together, isn't it? It's beautiful.
It really is.
And more ways than one. I love some of the little things, like when you go into your like little home base and you can drink a can of Monster.
Yeah.
And,
that's gone now,
just
unfortunately.
Subliminal advertising. And then at one point you deliver something to these guys that make beer, and without anything happening, that can of Monster changes to their beer. And that only happens if you find this certain settlement and you help them a certain amount of times.
I don't think I've done that.
Oh, that's
he goes
really
from drinking
cool.
his energy drink to it just being that local beer.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, who doesn't love watching Norman Reedus take a shower?
I
mean,
that's right.
Yeah.
And you gotta watch take a shower many times.
Yeah. And then you make some grenades out of his poo, and some bullets out of his blood.
His blood. Yeah.
And then you go and deliver some packages.
That's basically my day-to-day life already. So
right. Done.
Do you think you'll get into
good.
Silent Hill 2 soon?
I literally am starting that tomorrow morning.
Are you really? Okay.
That's real. That's next up on my. I picked that up on the break as well, with some. I was going to start it over Christmas, but then I didn't really have time. But I picked it up then. But I'm playing it tomorrow because I beat Death Stranding. So, and I also am going to start Tales of Arise, which I've had in my backlog for a long time. And now that I kind of like those style of games more now, I think I'll actually play it. So those are starting up tomorrow.
What about Sonic? Where's that on your priority list?
That is going to go kind of like in between the two, because that's a game I feel like I don't need to binge it. It's more like I can do a couple levels of Sonic. I haven't started it yet though, but I am going to start it probably this weekend.
Yeah, that
as well. So it'll be those three. I want to try to knock those three out before February hits, or before like mid-February.
Ooh, all right. Good luck to you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Seriously.
I'll need it.
I've been playing that with my daughter, and we've been having a lot of fun with it. It's going to be one of those games where I just kind of keep off to the side and kind of go to whenever she wants to play Sonic, because she's been obsessed.
I have a bone to pick with you, actually.
Uh-oh.
So, this is your first Sonic game.
Yeah.
How was that even possible?
So I never had a Sega Genesis. I never had anything Sega related. I had original Xbox. I had Nintendo 64. I had Game Boys. I had a Wii. I had original Xbox, PS2 for 24 hours. PS3
so you know that Sega was third party as of like 2002.
Well, yeah, but I mean, every time a Sonic game came out, I didn't grow up with them, and then every time there was a Sonic game out, it was like, it's not that good. It's a 6 out of 10.
Yeah.
But you got these Sonic freaks out here loving it, and I'm like, well, good for them. So for me, it was just always that thing of like, I haven't really known what. Anytime I've looked at a Sonic game, I've always wanted to do the 2D thing. Right, I want to go because I will say, back when I was a kid, we'd go to this dentist office, and he had a Sega Genesis in the lobby, and I got to play Sonic then, and that was my favorite game to play whenever I went to the dentist office, and that's what I remember Sonic as from a kid. Now
That's
I've
what
always
the good Sonic, yeah.
Yeah, that's the good Sonic. But I was a kid. I was like my brain was mush. I don't remember what the title was. So going back
Yeah.
and trying to figure out what Sonic it was just something I never like dedicated the effort to like trying to figure out which one was
Yeah,
that.
you wouldn't
which
have
one
the
do I play?
nostalgia for it, right?
Yeah, I just didn't have the nostalgia, so it was just that thing of it just never happened for me. Now I will say my buddy allegedly through via game sharing had picked up Sonic Mania, and I was pretty sure that might have been the game. I wasn't 100% sure. I'm still not 100% sure. So I
Sonic
played
Mania
it.
was new.
Okay.
That came out. That was like, yeah, in like 20. I don't when it was definitely in the late 20. Like it was definitely last generation when Sonic Mania came out.
Okay. I played like a
think,
little
yeah.
bit of it, and I was like, this doesn't, it's not pulling any strings for me, like as far as
Yeah,
like
from what
I
you
wasn't,
remember.
yeah, from what I remembered. So I was like, I don't think this is it. So I quickly like put it down because I wasn't vibing.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that's kind of how that happened. I mean, I'm having fun with it. It might have me wanting to go back and like revisit some other stuff. But yeah, during break I wanted to take the kids to go see Sonic 3. So I was like, you know what, a good Christmas gift would be to get the new Sonic game. So I was trying to decide between the new one and Sonic Frontiers, and I decided the new one because Sonic Frontiers definitely looked like it could be pretty empty. And I was like, I don't know if that'd be very well suited for her. So I was like, okay, we'll just go ahead and go with this one. And she's been having a lot of fun. However, we are getting to the part in the game where I'm just like, I don't think she's advanced enough to get through this. So
Yeah.
So it's starting to get a pretty freaking difficult. I mean, you got to go pretty fast.
Yeah, and the side scrollers are pretty tough too. And I'm mostly just busting your balls because
I
I
know.
hadn't touched the Sonic game since the Dreamcast, since Adventure 1.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, this is the first Sonic game. Well, Sonic Mania. Sorry, that's a lie because I just said Sonic Mania. But Sonic Mania was like a new 2D one made by like basically fans of the games that Sega licensed to make. So it's actually pretty good. But yeah, no, I haven't played any of the ones from that point on up until now either. So, and I saw that everyone raving about this one, so I'm like, okay, maybe it's time to finally buy a 3D Sonic game.
It's a
Or
good one.
somewhat 3D.
It's good. I mean, we've been playing a little bit of the Shadow Story. Shadow Story is fun. I liked it. The movie was really good, by the way. Really.
I need to see it.
It was
Yeah.
really good. I had a little bit of minor gripes with it, just as a nerdy person, but other than that, because I mean, it. Listen, go into this movie. It's a Jim Carrey movie. It is a Jim Carrey movie. I guess I just didn't. I mean, maybe I don't remember the first two movies as well because my wife was like, "No, I mean the first two movies were like that." I don't remember it being that Jim Carrey focused, but yeah, there's definitely some scenes that run a little bit long, and I'm like, wow, this is a lot of Doctor, what's his name?
Robotnik.
Yeah, Dr.
Eggman.
Robotnik. This is a lot more Robotnik than it is Sonic, honestly. But
So Hookah, you played Sonic as a kid, right?
Yeah. I played. Didn't have a Sega Genesis, but I had access to a Sega Genesis, so I played Sonic 2, Sonic 3. I think Knuckles. Like I remember those games. I played them on.
Yeah, those are great.
Had access to, and played those back in the day. So yeah, had Sonic with Sonic Adventure on the Dreamcast. I remember I played Sonic's several
Nice.
times.
Yeah, and Frasier, I don't think you have, right?
Nah, never touched them.
Yeah. Because you didn't really play too much back then, right?
No, my family was very anti-video games growing up, so I didn't get my own kind of anything until I moved out of home. You know, 18 to 20. You know, started playing on the
freedom.
Xbox 360 and kind of just. So I do really struggle going back to some of those older titles.
Yeah.
I want to, and I try my hardest to, but fuck. I feel like if
man.
even some of those PlayStation 1 titles, like I bought that. I didn't get the Clam one, but I bought the other edition
retro thing
of that retro thing, and I tried to play some of those old PlayStation games on it. It's like, this is rough.
Well, it's
Yeah,
it's that's why games like Oblivion need to be remade, like so you
Yeah.
can go and experience them
100%.
as if it's the first time, and for you it would be the first time, and it's something like we often forget is just the generational gaps of people who hopped in for the first time on PS4 or people who are hopping in for the first time on the new generation. It's like they have not experienced stuff that feels very recent for us. But Fraser, what have you been up to? Because you have had a really busy break as far as how much games you've been playing, what
Dude,
you've
I have
platinumed. Oh my gosh, dude, I'm jealous. I'm
Monique,
jealous.
It's almost like every day he's finishing something new.
Yes.
Yeah, Monique has her job requires her to work a lot over this break, so she had the stat days off, and I'm currently not working at the moment, and so I've just got lots of time to game. So I platinumed Suicide Squad,
Awesome.
Mhm.
loads and loads of fun,
It's amazing.
and I thought, you know what, I'm gonna jump on Gotham Knights, platinum that, move on. Gotham Knights, again, like Suicide Squad, it's fucking brilliant. It is a brilliant game. It's not what people wanted. It is. It was really cool to not be Batman. It was really cool to experience some of the other characters. It was cool to have bad guys that you don't usually fight. Um, I really enjoyed the whole thing of you go out at night to patrol the streets and there's just like random petty crime and you kind of beat them up and you stop a mugging or you help out some police officers and then you get a little bit more information and like you build on that and build on that and build on that and then there's like major crimes where some of the major villains goons are doing something and then you have to go and stop that and then that opens up the next thing and eventually like you're fighting Clayface or you're fighting Mr. Freeze and it was just really cool as opposed to just like, oh, I'm Batman, I fucking roll around just beating the shit out of everything. There's a bad guy, beat up him. Like you didn't feel super overpowered. Like you in the fights, like you could very easily be defeated. I played most of it solo. It would have been a lot more fun co-op. But yeah, loads of fun with that. So like I said, platinum that. Been on a beat 'em up, a beat 'em up journey. There's this game called The Cruise Brothers, which is a 2D fighting game made by DCF Studios. I played the shit out of that. I've been talking with the devs of that. Loads of fun. Again, platinum that.
Is that on? I'm guessing you're playing that on Xbox.
Yeah. These are.
Is
these
that
are
a
all on
Game
Xbox.
Pass one?
The DC, the Cruise Brothers.
Not going to the Cruise Brothers.
No, it's not.
Have
It's
you
a
played?
little indie.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead. Indie game.
It's a little indie game. It wasn't a lot. I think it was like $5 or $6.
Hey,
Okay.
how are you?
Hey. We got
Probably
another podcaster.
Yeah, we do.
Right?
That's awesome. Oh my gosh, how old is he?
Yeah.
3. He's
Oh
3.
wow.
Oh wow.
Sick.
Yeah, my son.
What were we gonna say, Jeff?
I was gonna say if you like beat 'em ups, I've heard there's a game on there called I think it's called Fight and Rage or something like that. And
Okay.
a lot of fighting game fans, like Jason, is a big advocate for that. Another one of my buddy who doesn't really play much, but he loves his good beat 'em ups, and he's raving to me about that game all the time. I just always forget about it when I'm looking for something new. It's not new. It's been on everything for a while now, but
It's on Game
All right,
Pass.
I'll
no, that's not on Game Pass. I wish it was. I think that's why I
Well,
didn't jump on it right away.
What's the name of it?
Yeah. I think it's called Fight, and then N Rage, like Fight and Rage. Yeah.
All right, put
I'll
that
look
on the
it up.
list. And then I played. It's been on my backlog for ages. There's like a triple pack that I bought way back of 3 indie games. One Redeemer, 9 Shaolin Monks, and Gods of Ash or something like that.
Didn't you platinum
I
Redeemer?
was looking. Yeah, I did platinum Redeemer.
Wow.
fucking fun, dude. It's like an isometric beat 'em up. So, and you use the environment, you use weapons, but then there's also shooting, and the combat is so aggressive, and it's so good. You're like the Shaolin monk, and you just go and fuck shit up. Um, but then I was playing that, and I can never remember the studio's name. Sobaka Studios. They are a Russian group of dudes. They've got another beat 'em up in development called oh my god, Kyborg. It's called. So it is
Iborg?
Kyborg, Kiborg,
Okay. Gotcha.
and it is a third person beat 'em up with roguelite elements, and it is so much fun. So you start at round 1 and you just beat the crap out of everyone, and then you get to choose like an augment, and then your body like morphs. You can choose legs and arms. So like when you block, a shield pops out, or like your legs produce like electric waves when you kick. Again, there's guns, and the violence is it's over
Insane.
the top. It's absolutely over the top. It is an indie game, so it's a bit janky, and it's, all of a sudden there's a difficulty spike where you're just like, am I even supposed to beat this?
Yeah.
But yeah, so that I'm going to be following along with that because it looks legit.
Did you see?
That's
It looks
see-through.
legit. It is legit.
Did you see my message I just sent you on Discord?
No, let me have a quick.
I just wanted to make sure I was able to ask you about it before I actually asked.
Oh no, not yet.
Ah, damn it.
Not yet.
Okay.
I know.
I'm sorry. I'm a
did wanna-
tease.
Yeah, there's
I did
some
wanna
super
ask for-
secret things happening.
Who did you mainline or who did you use mostly in Gotham Knights?
Red Hood.
Okay.
Yeah,
I was.
only because he was the character that I knew the least about. Like,
okay.
you've got Nightwing, you've got Robin, you've got Batgirl. Like, I know these characters, but Red Hood is something that I just never. When I used to read back in the day, when I'd read all the comics and stuff, like Red Hood was never in them. So I thought, oh, I'll give him a go.
I've been a fan of his since the Man Under the Red Hood,
I've seen that. The cartoon, like the
cartoon.
animated movie.
The animated, that is one of DC's best animated movies. Man
very
Under the Red
good.
Hood.
Yep.
Yeah.
And I
like
started
watching
reading.
it.
I started reading his comics. He had a run where it was him. I can't think of, like, he was a Green Arrow, Speedy. It was him, Speedy, and Starfire. It was Red Hood and
Yep.
the Outlaws.
I know. Yes.
And
Yes. It was good.
that run in the comics was amazing. If you get it, like, if you read comics, that's something to check out. But I love Red Hood. I've been a fan of his since like for a minute now. I love his Jason Todd. He's one of my favorite Bat family members.
His combat was really fun because he's got the pistols. So
yeah.
you actually like pistol whip as your melee, and then you flip it around and you can shoot.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
I found it really fun, just really fun. I tried the others, but I max ranked Red Hood, and I took him all the way to the end. Dude,
That's all.
the final thing that you have to do in Gotham Knights is defeat every single boss at once.
Oh my.
So they are all in the same arena as you,
Oh my
wow.
gosh.
and they're all plus their minions.
Oh wow.
And
Damn.
the one thing is they do hurt each other with their attacks. So like, but I mean, it's negligible compared to the amount of damage they do to you.
Yeah,
I really, really struggled with it until I took out Mr. Freeze first, because his ranged attacks just were annihilating me. But yeah, so that was probably one of the hardest platinums I've done in quite a while.
Oh,
That's awesome. I started Gotham Knights. I just haven't finished it.
listen. On
What would you
on top
Sorry,
of,
go ahead.
Oh no, I was just gonna say on top of Marcus's recommendation of Red
Red Hood.
Red Hood.
Hood and the Outlaws. On top of that recommendation, I would also highly recommend the Three Jokers. I believe that's what it's called. Maybe it's Batman and the Three Jokers. I have those comics. Yes, Batman and the Three Jokers. It's like a 3 comic book special. Really, really good. Jason Hood is like, oh my gosh, I can't talk. But yeah, no, Red Hood plays a really cool part in that story as well.
Yeah.
But his origin story is so cool, man. I believe I was the same as you, where I was like, I didn't know much about him, and I simply Googled like his introduction, his story, and I went through the DC subscription where you can like read all the comics digitally, and I went back and I read his origin stories, and it's just, it's awesome. It's great. I love his story. I love him as a character. He's like, I mean, I don't know how I feel about Batman's no killing rule sometimes. So I feel like he's the he's that one thing for people.
What?
He's that one thing for people who have a problem with Batman's no killing rule, where he's like, nah, screw you, Batman. I'm gonna go out here and do my thing. So it's really cool. Also, the other thing I was going to comment was they were talking about the animated movie with the Red Hood. Do you know who plays his voice in that movie? It's
I can't remember. It's
Jensen Ackles.
Yeah, I don't remember.
And he like dressed up as him for Halloween. Looks the freaking part. Oh my gosh, we need a Jensen Ackles Red Hood movie so badly.
I would love a Red Hood movie, period.
Was Red Hood in any of the Arkham games? It's been so long since I have played them. I feel like I know Red Hood from Ark game.
Have you played Arkham Knight? Let me just ask that. Arkham Knight.
Yep.
Did you beat it?
Yep. But again, it's so long ago, I don't remember.
That's who the Knight is. It's Jason Todd.
Gotcha. Yep. I knew I recognized the Red Hood Jason Todd name from somewhere, but I just couldn't place it.
He's also in Injustice too.
Yeah, he is.
Yeah.
Sorry, but
I'm gonna go back and play all those.
Oh, I was just gonna ask both Marcus and Frazier if what would they recommend more to somebody, Suicide Squad or Arkham Knights?
Suicide Squad.
I can't do it.
That's so different. Like,
they are very different.
Suicide Squad is more.
So if someone
Suicide Squad's more fun. Suicide Squad is a lot of fun. It's bright. It's fun. The progression isn't too insane. The loot drops are pretty generous. Where I found Gotham Knight to be quite a grind sometimes to get that next piece of armor, to get that next weapon that will take me to the next level.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I would definitely say Suicide Squad. It's got more content. There's more. Yeah, definitely.
I would probably ask it depends on more so if you like both games are fun. But I would ask if you wanted more so something along the lines of a looter shooter. If you want a more shooting, more that aspect, I would say lean towards Suicide Squad. But if you're okay, and I like Fraser said, if you're playing Gotham Knights with people, it's much more fun. But Gotham Knights is fun by itself, but it's a little bit it can get a little grindy when you're playing by yourself. But if you have more people to jump in with, so if you had people to jump in with, it's a little bit more fun. That's kind of why I kind of backed off on it for a little bit because I was playing it and I got a little grinding. One of my friends jumped in. We played a little bit and that was so much fun. We just haven't had time to jump back in together and play. But Gotham Knights.
Sorry, Karen.
No, you go ahead.
I was gonna say if you ever do jump back into it, let me know because I've got a fully kitted out Red Hood that is ready to take some names.
I need to re-download it to be able to like jump back in. I wonder if it's cross progression, but Batgirl, like to add to all of that, Batgirl was the most like Batman as far as gameplay ability. So if you are missing the Arkham series and you are wanting to jump back into a new experience where it feels like the Arkham series, that's your best bet. Is to play as Batgirl in Arkham Knight. With that being said, the writing in it, I couldn't do it. Once you hit the Mr. Freeze fight, I can't remember exactly what the lines were that were being said in that fight, but it I couldn't.
It was
I couldn't.
cringe.
It was so
Freeze.
cringe. I couldn't make it past
like
the
a-
fight. I beat the fight, then I go back to the hub, and then they continue to say more cringy things, and I just couldn't do it. Like, between the grinding and the bad writing, I like dropped out. I'm not saying it's a bad game. It was a good game. I enjoyed it. It's fun for what it is, and I would love to hop back into it with Frazier. But as far as story goes and enjoyability in the story and as a game as a whole, I enjoyed Suicide Squad. I thought it was more polished. And while, yes, it is more of a looter shooter, the thing I stated the other day in our group chat or whatever was the fact that the combat feels like a Rocksteady experience. It feels like it kind of goes back to its roots, even though it is mainly just press the right trigger button to do combat. Oh, there's Baby Yoda. But yeah, we'll go ahead and wrap up there. The only thing I'll say about myself is I've been playing. I finished up Suicide Squad. I'm about to put out an article, and once I'm done with it, I'll link it into the description below. But I've got a goal this year to get through X amount of backlog games. I still got to get into Indiana Jones. I still got to get into Silent Hill 2. I still got to get into Cyberpunk 2077. I still got to finish Black Myth Wukong. So those are some really big games that I'm really excited to jump into. But before I do any of that, I got to finish Dragon Age The Veilguard. So we'll see how that goes. I'll keep you guys posted
Next
on that
up for me is
progress.
Returnal. I'm starting Returnal. When we get off this podcast,
Nice.
I'm starting Returnal.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
I've got it downloaded on my PC. I gotta work tonight, but I'll hop into that with you this weekend if I see you on.
Is it co-op?
It is co-op.
No way. That's
Yep.
cool.
It is
Didn't
co-op.
know that. All right.
I will hop
Fantastic.
into that with you if you want.
Yep.
But yeah, so thank you all for joining. I'm really glad we got this chance to catch up, guys. I missed the podcast. I missed talking with y'all. So I'm glad we're back and rolling in 2025.
Lovely.
Oh.
Ciao.